Artillery! Salute! Salute the howitzers! The howelitzer! Don't start that howling shit. No. We ain't no red wolves. We take command. We brought in the artillery! Let's talk about it next.
Boom, boom. Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world. It is January 9th. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Command This, just coming off the Ref the District live stream. Thank you to Nathan and Ref the District for having me on there. Trying to do my best Stoner or Trev impression, but I can't live up to the legends, but certainly try. So thank you for joining. For those who came over from their channel, we much appreciate all of y'all. Hey, for us, this is episode 178. We're calling this one Load Up The Howelitzer. The Howelitzer. I like the how. Let's get to see his. Thank you for joining us, whoever came over. We got Yam in the building. Gus Bus. I told you I read your comments, man. He said, well. And once again, thank you, Nathan, Trev, and Stoner for joining us. Ref the District. Make sure you guys are subbed up to their channel. If you already aren't, please do. Always good friends of the show. Our buddy Chris McDaniel, thank you for joining in. We appreciate you. Yeah, Gus, all that music. That's Mr. Dev right there, man. He does all of our music, produces it in and out, up, down, left, and right. We got a lot more we haven't produced yet. So, and if you're watching this on Facebook, we have a very large Facebook presence. Please jump over to YouTube and join us if you can. If you want to get those comments read, make sure you jump into the YouTube channel to get those comments on the screen here. So we appreciate you. Our Eagles fan, Mean Green, Terrence, thank you for joining. 26-6. Yeah, you guys did your job. You defeated the Giants, and then we did our job to keep them off your backs. So you guys got the number one seed. Congratulations. Still hope you guys don't make it, but it's okay. Represent the NFC East as best as you can. Then come sit on the couch with us when you're done playing. So thank you very much. Yes, Hal should come out to this music in the next season's opener intros. There you go, Dev. The team's been reaching out, doing all this cool stuff with the community. How about bringing Dev and his music? A little bit of Left Hand Up. Now we got all other fight songs popping up left and right. Let's get Dev on the map here. He's the realest, Let's go. So, fellas, here we are. Moxie Monday, 26-6 victory. We finished the season 8-1 over Dallas, who's now 12-5. Just off the cuff, just getting started. How do you feel? Dev, let's start with you.
Having camera issues, but I feel good, I guess.
Your camera's not feeling too good.
Right. I don't know. But yeah, I feel pretty good about the young guys. I still can't understand why we ran Bonfine, Williams, and Patterson 40-something times in a meaningless game. Why wouldn't you pass 40-something times? I get that you wanted to win and all. You wanted to, you wanted to win. You didn't want another 7-win season. You wanted to, and it's the Cowboys. I get that you wanted to win. All draft picks aside, I'm like, why wouldn't you at least try to win throwing the ball? Show this, put more stuff on tape for this guy, man. I don't know, 19 times in a meaningless game to pass. I felt like they should have went for it every time it was under 2 yards.
Did you see the Kansas City Chiefs Madden formation? They did a ring around the posy.
Yeah. Do some shit like that.
That's it. We should have been doing, Dev. Is that what you're saying?
Before.
And they would have got away with it too if somebody didn't fucking
There's Tony.
Might as well go
screwed it up for himself.
No, I mean, before we get into the game breakdown, I mean, Dev, you got a rookie quarterback, 5th round pick, never started a game, reportedly was air quotes raw. Wow. You don't want to put too much pressure on him, especially with the way our O-line has been playing. We'll get into it in a second, but I feel like 19 attempts is not bad. You don't put the pressure on his shoulders, and with his 19 attempts,
definitely just put the pressure on the shoulders. What would have happened if you didn't? we'd have lost and got the 10th pick in the draft. I mean, what's the worst that could have
Actually, if
happened?
we had lost, we would have only been the 14th pick. So we only lost 2
I'm
spots.
saying, what did you have to lose by him throwing 10 more times?
I think that the idea was we're going to treat this game like we would treat any normal game.
You
And
can't say
Howell's
you're going to treat it like you would in the other game when you don't run 40-something times in the other game.
We ran 40 sometimes, plenty of games.
You didn't run 40-something times when you needed to.
There you go, Dev. Gus Bus says that could have been Major Tutty's theme song, The Menacing Pig. There you go, right there.
Yeah, Major Tutty.
Yam says the lack of throws was bad. It's 100% mixed bag win, but I will still take it. I mean, it's a confidence booster.
By the way, speaking of Tutty, I have a few questions. Like, I don't know. It's just dumb. I don't even understand how we have a mascot called Major Tutty. Why not Commander Tutty? That's one of the major questions I have in life. Not only that, but how did Spider-Man become Spider-Man when there's no Oscorp in the new Spider-Verse?
See, now you're just reading too far into it,
I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff.
No, you make a good point.
Because Major is an officer.
Yeah, but we're not the Washington Majors.
And we're about to score some Major Tutties next year with our new QB1, Sam Howell.
And in the military, there's only one commander of a unit. That's why it's hard for me to say commanders. It should be just one commander. But I digress. Gus says Scott is the guy who punts on 4th and 1. Madden, that's right. Or he pitches it -3 yards with Jonathan Williams after B-Row's moving mountains. But that's what he does. Shout out to Mom Dukes. Mom, thank you for joining from Facebook. Said nice win yesterday, my mom Linda. Thank you for tuning in. Gus agrees with you, Dev. You gotta stress test Howell a little more.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Like he should have had 30. He should have had at least 30 throws. I mean, there was some parts in the second half where they were just running 3. There was every first and second down they were running it. I felt like at least for the first 2 or 3 quarters they were running every first and second down, and you could tell like Cowboys knew it. They knew they were just running it.
The Dallas has a extremely stout defense, right? Why
we ran all over them?
We did, but going into that game,
all over them.
I mean, going into that game, you know, why would you? I think there was top 10 in rushing yards. I want to say in passing yards, top 10 or 11 in rushing. So you don't want to put your guy at risk, right? Play it conservative. I think they played really conservative, and we still beat that ass. So like, why? I'm happy with it. Was
and we
great.
left tons of points.
What did we really learn though?
I think we learned that the moment wasn't too big for Sam Howell.
We learned.
He only threw 19
By the way,
times.
God, yeah, but I'll tell you what we learned. Sam Howell on that bomb to McLaurin, which, by the way, isn't it nice to see a bomb to McLaurin like that, in which he has to keep running to catch the ball instead of stopping? That was a 60-yard in the air pass per Next Gen Stats. It is the longest in the air pass our quarterbacks have thrown since 2016.
And I think there were some arguments that we talked about this on Ref the District, that the Robert Griffin throw to Aldrick Robinson, I want to say on Thanksgiving, might have been longer, but I don't think Next Gen Stats went back and tracked that far.
What about
that was
the Taylor?
2012.
What about the Taylor to Sims?
Yeah.
What about the Taylor to Sims?
Air yards, so not
60 yards in the air.
Correct. You're talking
caught that in the end zone, right?
Yeah, but you're still just looking at the distance from. I think that was a 57 yards from the line of scrimmage, but maybe it was a straighter trajectory. Who knows? I don't know. It was fun to see. Terrence said he didn't watch the game, but he's just happy lost because Dallas sucks. Amen, brother. Yes, that is true.
Eagles fan, right?
He's an Eagles fan. That's right.
Boo.
Jalen Hurts has a sore right shoulder. We'll see how that pans out in the playoffs, young sir. Thank you very much.
Playoffs?
We talking about playoffs?
We were talking about it just a couple weeks ago.
And shout out to Yam for being on time. Yam's always busy. He's working, school. So we appreciate you jumping in on time.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
I never even here on time, but thanks.
That's
I'm
right.
glad you are.
Fashion relate to our own show. Chris says, just like the other wins, it was a defensive dominated win, but Howell was fresh out the fridge, got 19, even with the missed field goal and extra points. Yeah, Joey Slye had a rough game. But you know what? it happens. Rough games are a part of this game, this game of football, and for the most part, he's been pretty good. Big shout out to Marcus Edlin. Go check out his Facebook group, Sports View 2 on Facebook. Thank you, Marcus, for joining us. Big support of the show. Says, "What's up, family?" He also says, "Sam Howell isn't a finished product, but I see the makeup of a franchise quarterback.
The potential is there.
Potential.
This is why a lot of people said, "Oh, why didn't we start him back when Wentz got hurt?" We don't know where he was in his progression from then to now. I mean, that was a couple months.
When it mattered, like I mean, looking back at it now,
would he have gone 5-3-1? In his
who
next
knows?
9, maybe not. We don't know.
I mean, I think a good coach probably would have put him in there in by the bye week.
Yeah,
like Tomlin did. Tomlin still ended up with the same record. I mean, a better record actually. He went to Pickett early. I understand Pickett is a first or second rounder or something, but I mean,
with Scott Turner having this overly complicated offense, I could see where they didn't want to put the kid in there before he had a good command of it. The thing is, though, is it's funny because Chris Cooley pointed this out. He says, "Who was it that told Logan Paulson that Howell wasn't ready?
He got some poo-poo. He got some poo-poo info.
Or was it another quarterback?"
Who
That's
knows?
what he said. Was it another quarterback?
He didn't look like a quarterback who wasn't ready. I'll say that.
He's had all year to prepare for his moment. Daryl Green in the 19
times and half of them were third and long.
Yes, but the offense was different. And as much as I hate Scott, still not a fan of Scott, still don't need him back. The offense was different. Okay. There was a lot of, you got to see the offensive line move laterally, and they moved it well because there was a threat of Sam Howell running. It wasn't RPO. There was a lot of read option we saw. And Sam made he made very good decisions when to keep the ball because his keepers were usually resulting in a first down. Like, that was great to see, right? You got to admit that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm a Howell fan. I hope that this is I know it may be too early to talk about this, but I hope that they decide to run to either go get a legit great Lamar Jackson type guy, or go with Howell and cut Taylor because
he's not he's not under contract.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't
mean Wentz,
he wasn't under contract last year, was he? Until the end of the year. But either way, I just feel like as soon as he throws a bad pass, you're going to have that big section in the background yelling for Taylor. I'm a fan of Taylor also, and I appreciate everything he's brought to the team. But I think it's time for him to move on, man. I think it's time to let that ship sail and just go with the young guy or draft the next young guy and let that guy immediately come in and just take off at quarterback. Like Hal should be the quarterback week 1. Like all off season should be going into it saying Hal is number 1 or a rookie is number 1 or Lamar Jackson hopefully is number 1. That should be your only options, man. It should be a superstar quarterback, Hal, or a rookie.
Yeah,
that should be your end. It shouldn't be anybody else even getting any first team snaps in the offseason.
Well, Dev, I think no matter what, we are locked in for another. If they bring in another, I'll say a competitive veteran, we are in the same place we've been in since 2012. Because think about it. I'm probably guilty. We're going to be screaming for Sam Howell the first. Let's just say they bring in Derek Carr. The first sign of distress, we're going to be screaming for Sam Howell. So
I don't want any quarterback.
That's why unless it's Lamar Jackson, it's Sam Howell and Chase Daniel.
I don't want
Sam
anybody
Howell
that had to compete for a job last year.
And Blaine Gabbert, Sam Howell, and someone not named Taylor Heineke.
I don't want anybody that had to compete for a job last year on this team at all. I don't want anybody that lost their job on this team next year.
Yeah,
Period.
Agreed. Gus Buzz says, I was surprised that Turner finally called the RPO with Howell in the fourth quarter. Howell kept hailing the ball, faking off his own run throughout the game. Turner finally pulled the trigger. Yeah. You just got to sprinkle it in. It's like a left jab. Set him up. Boom.
You watch some of those last games. I felt like Taylor was actually. I think Taylor was called for a couple RPOs. He just didn't keep them. It felt like if you watch some of the games, it felt like maybe RPO was called and Taylor never kept the ball.
Yeah.
Until that last game. He ran into the last game.
Do you know who's an undrafted? Do you know who's an unrestricted free agent this coming off season?
Lamar Jackson.
You mean on our team or other teams?
Let's say we go with Howell. We don't go to Lamar Jackson route.
Yeah, we're not going to go Lamar. That's a pipe dream.
Do you know who's an unrestricted free agent? That if somehow Scott
Brissett.
Turner's back knows this offense?
Don't you say Kyle?
Kyle Allen. I'd be okay with Sam Howell and Kyle Allen because no one's going to be screaming for Kyle Allen.
Yeah, they will.
No, they won't.
They will.
2 years ago, that was me, but not even.
That was me too.
Yeah.
But
again, this shit, as soon as he throws 3 interceptions, we're 0-3.
Nah, bro. No.
Watch
But
what I'm telling you.
so there are actually a lot of guys who you could sign and tell them right from the jump, you're the backup, you're the mentor, you're not going to go into the season starting.
Who are they?
Well, let's see. Jacoby Brissett.
No, man. Jacoby Brissett might get in because Howell gets hurt for a game or two and win that job, and it'll be at least be an argument because there's people here that wanted that guy. Named Steve.
I wanted him before we had a potential.
I never wanted
that had potential.
I never wanted Jacoby Brissett. He's
well,
not good enough,
he
dog.
He wanted something. He played pretty damn well for the Browns.
He doesn't turn heads. They still not in the playoffs. He doesn't turn heads, man. Like he doesn't make you.
Which is why he would make a good backup quarterback.
Nah, man. Yeah, I don't need any guy. Get me
Joe Flacco.
I'd rather
Andy
go the
Dalton.
Kirk Cousins RG3 route and just draft 2 guys the same year again.
No.
Yeah.
This fan base has not recovered from that. And that was a decade ago.
Man, go get Colt McCoy. That's the only backup I'll take.
He's hurt again.
Chase Daniel is an unrestricted free
I
agent.
told you, give me Chase Daniel all day. No, that dude will never threaten anyone's job.
45 years old, but hey.
He is. Chris McDaniel says, I think we learned that Howell has more talent than the little hero. We can definitely let him go along with Wentz and have 2 new fresh faces to compete or back him up. Yeah, it's time to go all in. It's year 4 of Ron's tenure.
I got it.
Ron's going to do already.
Let's connect to the past. Brett Rippon. An unrestricted free agent.
Somebody asked for him. RG3. I mean, not RG3, but man, we 100%. I'm letting y'all know now. It's gonna be Heineke. I'm letting y'all know because he's gonna play cheap and he's gonna be able to bridge to how.
It's not gonna be. Heineke will be a fringe starter next year on another team. He's gonna go get $12-13 million and go be a bridge quarterback for a rookie next year. Look at someone who's choosing top 5.
Heineke's
Jets,
spot track number.
Texans.
Heineke's spot track number went up $100,000.
Yeah, $19.7 million.
No, it's 19.8 now.
19.8.
Heineke will be a good backup quarterback for us. It's just that
what has Taylor done to earn $19.8 million?
I mean, he showed that he's a competent starter. I'll leave it at
backup
that.
Quarterback better than Heineke right now.
It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the short list.
Better than Heineke?
He's on the short list, man.
Right now. Can't think of one.
Today, he's on the short list.
Jacoby Brissett?
No. Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
Body of work, maybe. You could argue Brock Purdy.
But it's
Jimmy Garoppolo started this season as a backup.
Yeah, but Jimmy Garoppolo's a starter.
Gus Bus poses a great question. Do you guys think Howell would have beat Cleveland?
Who knows? He wouldn't have beat him throwing 19 times.
Maybe we would. Well, we only threw the ball, 27, 28 times. So
yeah.
Gus said we should go after Mariota.
By the way, 2 of those wins.
Mariota, no. After that stunt, Mariota was just like going AWOL. I don't want anything to do with them.
Right.
Don't give me somebody who has that kind of mentality.
Who quits when they become the non-starter. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? As much as I have shit on Taylor Heineke in this podcast, he's stuck it out.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I respect Taylor Heineke, man. I understand why Ron would bring Taylor Heineke back to be a backup or bridge to Howell. I get it. The reason you don't do it is because you got to move past the guy. The fan base has to move past Taylor. Not any disrespect to Taylor's game because Taylor has more than
you can't bridge at this point.
Right.
You've already opened the box.
Yeah.
And Sam Howell popped out.
It would almost be more of a benefit for Wentz to be the backup than Taylor. Because no one wants Wentz to start anymore. Like that's
by the way, did you hear what Carson Wentz did?
He gave Sam Howell his suite for his 20 family members for that game.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
When they said Wentz was a bad teammate, they lied to everybody, dog. They just drugged him for no reason.
Wentz is having Heineke over for Thanksgiving dinner. He's giving his suite up to Sam Howell because Howell's about to have his.
And here's the thing nobody's talking about. Wentz is out of contract. If he wanted to, he could go around and look for another job as a starter he's not going to get and say, hey, I have to be a backup. Why not be one in Washington and do a whole new contract for a backup quarterback job? If you're going to be a backup, why not be a backup somewhere that people actually at least like you?
That's true. They'd have to cut him and then re-sign him.
Right. Well, they'll have to cut him. Yeah, they'd have to cut him. Right. Yeah. I mean, well, why not? Cut him and then say, hey, go out there and find you a better deal. If you can't, we got $3 or $4 million to play backup for a year.
Yeah.
Next year, they're going to retool the whole team anyway. So whoever coming in to own is going to get rid of Ron. Now his contract's over too.
No. I'll tell you why.
They get rid of him.
The timing won't work.
I'm saying next year, not like next year, but after next year.
Going into 2024.
What we do this coming season.
I'm talking about going into 24.
Okay, but if hold on, let's not talk about 24 until we talk about 23. If we go into 23 and Howell plays well, and we instead of looking for a quarterback to be the starter and give them big money, we take this cap money and we do something like, I don't know, franchise Deron Payne. Let's go into the draft and we get ourselves an O-lineman and a linebacker, and we spruce up these holes that we have, and we go into the playoffs and we make it to a divisional round or a conference championship even. And we win 10, 11 games. Now, I'm throwing out a lot of hypotheticals right now, but we do all this. What owner is going to get rid of the coach?
Yeah, not too many.
I would. 100 times out of 100, for sure. 100% out of 100. If I bought,
what does Ron Rivera have to do next year?
If I bought a house, and the old owner says I got a brand new refrigerator, washer and dryer in there, I'd be like, guess what? I'm painting the walls different color. That shit ain't working for me. I'm still gonna get rid of it. I ain't paid for it. Who gives a shit? I ain't lost. Like, that's how I would look at it.
If you walk inside? Hold on. What if you walk inside? You see that refrigerator, you see that washer and dryer, and you're like, damn, these are really nice. I think I'm going to change what color I'm going to repaint things because I like this.
That'll never happen.
Yeah. Deuce, our boy Red Zone in the Lab. If you haven't subbed up to his channel, please go make sure you like and sub up. Our boy Deuce says there were no Taylor Heineke chants week 1 through 6. The chant started because fans believed he gave us the best chance over Wentz. He benched Taylor after he played his best half ever.
And then turned the ball over 2 times in a row.
Shit, I still heard people on the radio talking about they want Taylor in to start the year.
Yeah, I mean,
there were Taylor Heineke chants all along.
Yeah, that was Taylor Heineke. Those people that didn't want Winter at all.
4 touchdowns and 300 yards against the Jaguars. People were like, man, I still want Taylor Heineke. He could have done that.
Man, there are people, believe it or not, that want Taylor Heineke to start next year.
No.
There are people.
Like, Heineke is out. We are past Wentz. We are past Heineke. It is Howell time right now. Definitely. It's Howell season for the foreseeable future.
I hope it's Lamar Jackson season.
And you know what? If you fail, at least you went all in. I hate the idea of failing with 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Now, by the way, I know we've been pretty rough on Ron for some of his moves, but I'll tell you what, man. I was listening to what's our homeboy from Tennessee.
Mr. Titan.
No. He's a Redskins fan. You know, we met him down there. We were supposed to be in Tennessee.
Jesus. Manny.
Fuck, I'm tripping. Yeah, Cuba. I was listening to Manny, and they showed a graphic which showed the trade for Dotson.
For Chris Olave. We turned the Chris Olave trade into some gold.
Right. We killed it. And so makes me think, man, if you have a rookie quarterback or a second-year quarterback on a rookie deal, not even a cool rookie deal either. He's on one of those like couple $100,000 a year deals. So he's a 5th-round pick. You know, he's not getting any money. If we could use some of that money from not having to sign a franchise quarterback or a big-name quarterback to bring Payne back in, and like you said, I think we need 3 offensive linemen personally. The only guy I think we could salvage really is Leno. And, you know, I would rather him move to the right side at this point.
Yeah, we got Jahan Dotson, Brian Robinson, Sam Howell, and Cole Turner off that.
Right, for Chris Olave, basically.
Chris Olave.
That rights to Chris Olave.
That's a hell of a...
That's a win. That's a super win, actually.
It's a haul.
And they were talking about getting maybe a running back, Robinson kid or the Gibbs kid, which are going to be phenomenal players in the NFL if you had the first pick. But I'd still pick 3 offensive linemen. I'd try to find a way to trade and get as many offensive linemen as I can because those guys play like crap all year too. It wasn't even like
Yeah.
And I would probably, I don't think you're going to get Chase Roulier back. I think he should be let go as well, man. Like, I like Chase Roulier, and our offense was terrible without him, but that dude's never healthy at this point. And you're paying him a lot.
We do need a center. I would definitely look at that like second round.
Paul looked pretty good, man. Paul looked pretty good.
Larson?
No, Chris Paul.
Paul was a guard.
Oh, I thought he played some center now.
No, he played guard.
Dude says the backup in DC is always most popular. It always has been, going back to
Sonny and Billy.
Sonny and Billy. It's we have to break the trend. Gus Buzz said earlier, Rec and Bex, we haven't had a true quarterback competition. Hey, 2011, I was at a game I think it was versus Miami, where Rex was just stinking it up, and I was yelling,
Billy,
we want Beck, we want Beck. I was in section 214 screaming it. I am guilty. I'm that guy. And I apologize. Marcus said he would go after Jacoby Brissett.
I would never. For what?
To be a backup for cheaper than Taylor.
Jimmy Lee, thank you for joining.
Taylor.
He would be. Taylor's spot track right now is $19.8 million a year. Jacoby's is $5 million.
Yeah. Hey guys, real quick, let's take a look at the NFL quarterback free agents, if you want to see. So these are the quarterbacks who are going to be available on the market. Now, think about Ron's opinion of veteran starters, and think about a grizzled backup that's not going to compete against Sam Howell for a starting position. So you see these right here. I
saw an article that had Tom Brady's people talking to Bezos people about if he bought the team, he would come here for 1 or 2 years and take a minority ownership when he retired.
The Dolphins just did that and got fine draft picks for that, right? In the offseason.
Well, Bezos doesn't work for Washington yet. He can have as many discussions as he wants.
I guess that's true, but the Dolphins owner did it with Sean Payton and Brady.
Yeah.
The scam was to, hey, we're going to bring you to Miami. You're going to be our quarterback for 1 year. You're going to unretire. We're going to get your rights from Tampa. You're going to come here with Sean Payton. You're going to play for a year, then become a minority owner. You cannot negotiate that in the offseason with an active player.
You can do it with the guy who's not our owner.
Maybe
if I buy the team, this is what we're going to do.
But look at the rest of these quarterbacks. You got Jacoby Brissett, Geno Smith. That would be a dream come true. Not happening. Joe Flacco, Andy Dalton, Mike White, CJ Beathard.
Geno Smith will be how much are you paying Geno Smith at UCL?
30. I'm paying him 30.
Really?
Yeah.
I probably
4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, 10 pick. Like the dude had.
I give him one of those. I give him one of those 3-year deals at like 25. I give him those Wentz deals.
Yep. Lamar Jackson, Blaine Gabbert, Chase Daniel. These are the list of quarterbacks that are going to be available. Nick Lunds, Drew Lock.
I think Blaine Gabbert will be a good one.
Josh Johnson. I mean, if you're talking backups, this is what you're looking at.
Only if I get to hear him scramble one time, get knocked out of bounds, and then turn around and go, "Whoa there, motherfucker!" That's one of my favorite hot mic bits in the history is Blaine Gabbert yelling that at some defender.
Man, I remember Blaine Gabbert making us look silly in college. Man, that dude.
Yep. Gus Buzz says Rivera has to win a playoff game in year 4 in order to secure year 5. I think this is what you were saying, Dev. He has to get to the NFC Championship game to get extension beyond 2024. I think that's what you were trying to say earlier. You know,
I mean, they're not going to fire Ron. For anybody out there who thinks it's going to happen, Ron's not. There's no way Ron's getting fired unless they sell that team next month. Like it's impossible.
They have to sell the team before the Super Bowl.
It's impossible, man. Because what they're going to do? Ron going to fire him and then hire a new guy only to be fired by the new owner. It doesn't make sense. Ron would be on the hook for tens of millions of dollars for firing the staff. You know what I'm saying? And then what's he going to do? Hire a new staff for the new guy to fire? So he probably just let him sit there until the new guy comes in. That's why I think Ron's safe. Scott Turner might not be safe, but I don't think everybody's talking about getting these new offensive coordinator. No one's going to take a lateral movement to OC, man. That's any good. No. What you're going to end up getting is an old guy.
Mike Shula. You'll
get an old guy, or you'll get a guy that's fired. You don't want Kingsbury or from Arizona.
Cliff Kingsbury.
I mean, he was terrible on offense. That's why he got fired at Arizona, because his offense was terrible.
Remember what Corey said? Jay Gruden. Corey said the Sanchez said Jay.
He's not.
Gruden.
He's worse than Jay because Jay offense was in the tops for a while. Jay had a good offense, man.
Yeah. Speaking of Titans,
speaking
of Titan, our boy Mr. Titan. If you're listen, we got friends from all the teams on here. Go check out Mr. Titan's channel, sub up. He's doing great things for the community, not just talking about, football. He does so much more. He says, congratulations on beating the Cowboys. Unfortunately, we couldn't beat the Jags, bro. An epic choke for my Titans. And I saw Black Monday already hit for the Titans. I saw that 4 coaches from the Titans have been – I think I saw that headline earlier.
I went out with my son and my buddy John to watch, and we watched that Jags Titans game, and I'm just like, what is going on with this team?
Yeah.
Man, if you think Sean McVay talking to Gus Bus 9000 said I give Rivera and Mayhew another year, wait for him to fizzle out, and then bring Sean McVay as team president in 24 after the sabbatical. Look, man, if you think that he can't take the pressure of losing in the Rams, you know what I'm saying? Like, just wait till he comes here where people actually care about football in Washington and start losing. There's no way. I think that if he never comes here, man. This will be the worst place for him to go. You're muted, Steve.
I think he's getting thrown some TV money, and it must be really good TV money. Yeah. He's like, if I can work 10 times less and get 5 times more.
Yeah, young, good-looking guy, knows football like the back of his hand.
Just got married.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Marcus Elam brought this up earlier today, and I think if you want to look at guys that you might be able to pick up to be a replacement offensive coordinator.
Get a college guy.
No. Lovie Smith just got fired.
He's a defensive guy.
No, Pep Hamilton's going to be on the market. I like Pep. Pep was a head coach for DC Defenders in the XFL.
Yeah, but he's old, right?
No, he's not old. He's middle-aged.
Yeah, I don't want that shit. Like, give me I want a 30-something-year-old.
You want somebody that we could move up from offensive coordinator to head coach.
No, I want a young offense that's modern. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get that with these old ass retreads that's running the same old shit that every old coordinator runs in the league, man. We ain't got old type players. We got young, athletic, gifted, offensively talented players, but we're playing old football, running the ball 48 times with dudes that ain't even supposed to be in the NFL in the last game of the year. It don't count. Like, that's stupid. That's dumb as shit, man.
No, it was a good game plan. I don't care if you're 90 years old.
It's a good game plan. It's a good game plan if you have something to play for and you're in it. It's a hell of a game plan.
The offensive mindset should be the strength of your players. But that's it. Age of your coordinator shouldn't matter.
The strength of our players was Bonifant, Patterson, and fucking Williams, bro. When you got McLaurin, Dotson, Samuels, and Sims and Thomas and Diami and all those guys out there, and Dax Milne.
Yeah, but how could have walked away with 6 picks? Like, is that what you want?
What would it matter? Would you have been worse off if we had 6 picks? Would it matter?
We'd be talking about how Taylor Heinicke is going to be our starting quarterback.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're doing.
I don't know, man. I don't think he would have played that bad, man. Like, if you think he played that bad, then why do you want him?
Hold on, Dev. You say that like we knew what the outcome was going to be before it was played.
It's a business decision to start it. It had to be a business decision.
We went into this completely not knowing what Sam Howell was going to do.
It sounded like someone else made the idea from upstairs because it sounded like he was going to start Taylor and then bring him in the second half. That sounded like the original idea.
Remember, Taylor. It was reported that Taylor convinced Ron to start Sam Howell, and if I'm
Taylor,
that's
Taylor though. It was other players.
Probably like
coaches.
I'm peacing out. I'm not going to be here next year. I'm not going to get hurt.
You're going to be here next year as a backup.
So Taylor's like, I'm not even dying for pylons anymore. You think I'm going to play in a game that doesn't count? Taylor's
like, also crying, leaving the field. That's not a guy who's coming back to me. That's not someone who's going to come back.
Wearing his Shane Falco jersey. No, you can be replaced there, Taylor.
Love Shane Falco, by the way.
You just were.
Hey, Deuce says an ABA agreement can't be signed prior to official signing in March. There's an option if parties agree, but there's a chance Ron can be moved, but I doubt it happens. Yeah, the timing's just off.
There's no way that happens.
Guspa says McVay's a natural guy to take over the Madden franchise. That'd be kind of cool.
We're going to have McVay 25, McVay 26.
That's how old he is, right? The dude's only like 27. I don't know. I'm just joking. He's probably
40. He's in his early 40s.
McVay? I thought he was in his early like
37, 38.
He was 35.
Hold on, I can answer this. Alexa, how old is McVay for the Rams? Could think of his first name.
Timothy McVay is 54 years old.
They said
not Timothy McVay.
Yeah, we don't need it. What's his name? Scott? What's his name?
Sean.
My bad. That's my name too. Alexa,
you failed.
what is Sean McVay's age?
38, 39,
Sean McVay is 36 years
36.
36. There we
Damn.
go.
Oh, damn, really?
He looks
Yeah,
like he's
man.
22.
I
The
thought he
baby.
was like 40 because I thought he was 35 here.
Yeah. Yam says, I still don't know how the dead cap hits work. Can you explain that? So when people leave, if you go to like Spot Track and you can look at people's contracts, so they have clauses. So you can do pre-June 1st trade, post-June 1st trade. And then the way their contracts are structured is they have a certain amount of dead cap, depending on when they move them, that the team is on the hook for that goes against the salary cap. So you can cut, let's say you could cut Chase Young tomorrow, and whatever percentage of his contract is considered dead cap money, the team still that gets docked from their salary cap. So they're still on the hook for that. So they have to be smart when they cut players based on either pre-June 1st or post-June 1st.
Right.
And while we're talking, I'll see if I can pull up an example. But that's basically
Well,
how the dead
Wentz,
cap works.
that's a good example.
He has no money. That's not a good example.
Oh yeah, no dead cap. You're right.
That's a horrible example. That's
Yeah.
an example of what we want.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'll pull up Jonathan Allen here real quick just to show you what his dead cap figure looks like, because we just signed him to a deal, and it's all right. Here we go. So here's the dead cap for Jonathan Allen. This is for you, Yam, just to show you over the cap right here. You can see going into 2023, if we cut him pre-June 1st, if you're looking off to the right here, I'll zoom in real quick. Looking off to the right, next year before June 1st, we are on the hook for $18 million dead cap money that goes against the cap. So why would you cut someone if you're going to have to eat $18 million? Doesn't make sense.
Right.
But you go down to 2025, you can cut them pre-June 1st, and you're only taking a $6 million cap hit of dead cap. So that's what you have to play with. You can look this up for any player. I just want to give you an example.
Motherfucker Steve getting out tutorials and shit now. Cap tutorials.
Now you can do post-June 6th, $6 million, $6 million, $6 million, and you can see the savings on the right. You can play with it all you want. You can trade. Even if you trades have dead cap implications too. What does implications mean? So yeah. All right, let's get to some. Actually, we got to get to a couple things here real quick for the show. We've been so divested in the comments here. Let's talk Overreaction Monday. 38 minutes into the show. Those in the chat, give us your Overreaction Monday. It's the last game of the season. Doesn't have to be real. Doesn't matter. It's an overreaction going into the offseason. Phil, let's start with you. What's your Overreaction Monday?
We got our QB1 to develop. It's going to be Sam Howell. Sam Howell is going to be our starter and the guy we work to develop for the entire offseason and into 2023. You ride with Sam Howell. That's my overreaction right now. Do it. Commit to it. Go all in.
All in. Okay. Dev, I know you got an overreaction. Yours is probably completely opposite. You're muted.
Oh yeah. Well, our overreaction is I don't really have one. I guess I agree with Phil, man. The overreaction would be that we got our quarterback. I believe when I see it. Like, I'm hoping that he gives this guy or whoever it is, a young guy, the full reins to run the offense. But I feel like he's going to run it back. And even if Howell is the quarterback when he runs it back, that still means there's going to be some remnants of a Taylor or a Wentz type player behind him or in front of him. Like, I feel like that's never going to stop with Ryan, man. He's always going to have some moxie dude that's got grit and is a good teammate, on the team. I just want an athletic, fast, rocket arm quarterback. I don't give a shit like what all the other stuff we can work and find out how to fix the rest. But I think that that's the overreaction. But by the way, Steve, you guys are right. If you resign, if Howell is the only quarterback on the team and you bring in some cheap guys to back him up or whatever, the cap goes up like 40-something million next year, I think. And then you're going to have $28 million off of Wentz. I mean, it would be, you could really get you a big time. Who's a free agent lineman out there?
You can go sign Deron Payne.
Yeah, definitely that.
He'll be about an $18 million franchise tag.
He won't even get that because it'll be like you could football money's weird.
What kind of position, Dev? What position are you talking about?
Linebacker.
linebacker,
Yeah,
inside, outside.
we need both.
We need both.
Well, we run mostly that nickel, so let's say we just need somebody who's both.
Man, we run nickel because we ain't got no linebackers. By the way, Khalil Hudson should have been getting more snaps than Mayo and Bostic all year. That's ridiculous.
Hudson, though, in previous years, is just disappears.
Man, but it doesn't matter. The other guys disappear too. Wouldn't you rather a young guy who's learning disappear versus an old ass guy that's been disappearing for 8 years? Like Bostic's been bad every year. Why do you need to? Why does he need to come on the team next year to show you that he's bad? You already know that. Let me say that the other guy's bad for once. Let me see if this guy's not good, Hudson. Like, why are you continuously playing dudes that are terrible over and over again? Like, why are you making Thomas block on runs, dog? He can't do it, man.
Yeah.
Why you draft all these Coles and Bates and Armani Rogers on the team? Why are those guys on the team if you're not going to play them on rundowns? Why you keep playing guys that can't block?
Why are you going to drop Chase and Montez back in the coverage?
Right.
That bothers me.
Right. Why do you take a running back that's only good running up the middle and take him out of the game and run a receiver up the middle on fourth point? Like, why do you continuously run Heineke on quarterback sneaks? Which is terrible at it.
Aaron Scher, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thomas Millen said, wow, just joined the live, but also saw Wentz gave his suite to Sam Howell's family to watch. Yeah, we said that earlier. That was pretty cool. And if you see the picture of the Commanders in the conference room in the locker room when Sam Howell got the game ball, I mean, Carson and Taylor were just right there next to him, cheering him on. That's the one thing I say about all three of these quarterbacks. They seem like they're all great teammates to each other and supportive, which is kind of cool. So here, Dev, here's the list of free agent linebackers who's going to be available: Levante David, Devin Bush, Roquan Smith, Melvin Ingram. Looking for any other big name. Tremaine Edmonds. Who else? Kevin Pierre Lewis.
I love Roquan Smith or Tremaine Edmonds.
Kyle Van Noy, Leighton Vander Esch, unrestricted free agent. Yeah, Dallas did not re-sign him.
Edge rusher, though. We don't really need those. We don't blitz linebackers.
Anthony Barr, David Mayo, John Bostic.
Yeah, we'll bring those back. I guarantee those two guys are coming back next year.
Yeah, the list just keeps on going. There's quite a few. None of these really are jumping out at me as crazy. He's restricted free agent, so the team should have right of first refusal to make him an offer. So we're not going to keep going all the way down, but just to show you that, yeah, we definitely need to upgrade our linebacker core for sure. Yam's overreaction is Howell is him. Same here with me. Like, that's my overreaction. That's the one thing to overreact about is Sam Howell, that he's the guy we found our QB1. That's the overreaction. He's the guy, the crown starter going in 2023. I think that's a fair overreaction coming into 2023. Marcus says we should trade everything for another quarterback and just develop Sam Howell. That's kind of what Dev was saying a minute ago. If you just have Sam Howell on a rookie deal, 5th round pick who's making peanuts, you cut Carson Wentz.
I drafted another 5th round guy, man, to be his backup. Fuck it. I mean, that takes the training wheels off, man. You ain't got no fallback. You can't fall back on Heineke, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I think Shanahan did it. I don't want to fall back on somebody. You know,
True.
If it don't work, it don't work. I go to the next guy.
The fact that Scott isn't already gone makes me feel like he will be back.
Go with Herndon.
Scary.
Draft Herndon.
Hendon Hooker.
Jump back at 16. Draft Herndon and let him sit.
You could, but then now you're impeding on Sam Howell, so you got to figure out what do you really want to do.
Herndon's not playing next year.
Yeah. Gus Bus's overreaction. Chase Young is back to his old self. His old self never met the expectations of a game-busting marauder.
I don't agree with.
I feel
Gus,
like
man.
His first year he did.
I don't agree with him now. Like
up things as a rookie. I mean, okay, I'm sorry. He's not putting up Nick Bosa's sack numbers. Of course, he's never going to double teams of Nick Bosa.
He's never going to pull up. He's never going to. No defensive end or no edge rushers ever going to have those sack totals because we don't blitz, man. So he's always having to go through someone else to get. There's no freebies. There's no quick. There's no second guessing lineman. They know who's coming. They might stunt here and there and confuse somebody, but most of the time they have to win a matchup to get a sack in Washington. And by the time they get there, the ball's out because you're only sitting 4 most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like if you blitz 6 or 7 guys, every now and then somebody gets through fast. Every now and then somebody gets through faster than they should or even free. Like when you watch Parsons, it's always one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't block 6 dudes with 5 guys. Somebody's always going to get through. And that's why everybody else's sack totals are going to be higher than ours every year. Doesn't mean we're worse or that Young is worse. Young is more like Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney is excellent outside, is excellent at setting the edge and stopping the run. He's an excellent pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? But he's never going to come with the stats because that's just not what he does, man. He's going to do everything right. I think Young is one of those kind of guys. He's excellent against the run. You know, one thing I did notice, though, in the last 3 games that I didn't notice the first year, I feel like his motor is gone. Have you noticed, like, when you watch somebody run away from him, he'll chase him and he just start walking or slightly jogging? I didn't see that kind of stop in effort the first year or first year and a half. I felt like he was always running through into the whistle. But here lately, when I see a dude running the other way on a stretch to the opposite side, he'll run to his area and just kind of walk the area down. I don't know if he's trying to be more disciplined.
I think that's a conditioning thing.
I wondered if it's conditional or he's second guessing that knee and just want to do enough.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I can think of. I mean, I saw him flush. He forced Dak into a sack by Montez Sweat, and I also saw him flush Dak out of the pocket. Now he ran an inside stunt and forced Dak to run. Now the problem is that a lane opened up behind him because there was whoever was running the other end of that stunt went too wide, and they were able to create a crease. But the fact that Dak had to run was because Young had caused that. So that's at least 2 pressures right there that I could credit to Chase Young.
And I'm not even talking about his sacks. I'm talking about like there's times where the play is completely the other way. And, you know, like you see Casey Toohill, for an example. If the player's not opposite end, Casey Toohill is still chasing them down, man. Like, you know, he's chasing them 15 yards up the field, even though he can't get to him. I almost haven't seen Chase Young do that since his rookie year. I haven't seen him chase anybody down from behind the opposite side of the field. Like, he just, after he makes his initial charge, he stands and waits for somebody to come to him, and he just chills. And like you said, it could be conditioning. It could be him second guessing that knee and not wanting to overexert himself.
Could be.
But that's the only thing I saw negatively from Young. But I liked what I saw from him. He's never going to be 14, 15 sacks on this team. Jack Del Rio does not produce those kinds of defensive ends.
No, not individually. But then again, we did have 43 sacks on the season.
Yeah, you're going to get that. And you're going to have leaders in pass rush every year, like as far as pressure. But they're not going to hit home because they're getting an extra second. The other teams are getting an extra second jump because they got 6 guys coming. Right. Like, you know, you're not going to get those numbers. It's Jack Del Rio's the problem. Even though he's not a bad defensive coordinator, I don't want to start that. He's not a problem, but he's the reason why you're not getting gaudy numbers at pass rush because he's not gonna send more than 4 people, and he probably can't because linebackers are terrible.
Yeah, Gus Bus said Roquan Smith would have been perfect.
Yeah, it would have been perfect, man. I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean,
Thomas says, I know it sounds stupid, but how stupid would it be to spend 3 or 4 picks on an O-line instead of other picks? Yeah.
We might need a linebacker.
Man,
Marcus says you can resign Cole Holcomb cheap.
I don't trust this team.
We also need a third
lineman, bro.
We need another corner. And I will say this, all right? Danny Johnson stepped up as of late, but I'd rather have him as the 4th corner, not the 3rd.
I want to get
Kendall Fuller. If you go Fuller and St. Juice, Danny Johnson, and someone else backing them up, I think you're solid. Because if one of them goes down, you can plug somebody else in. So you might see a draft pick, a high draft pick, go on a corner.
Yeah. Gus Bus said, "Did you see the pick of Heineke next to Howell, but Wentz in the background with his face blocked?" I did, but then this is the one that's kind of been surfacing. It's like the timing is off just a hair. But yes, the precursor to this pick, at least the camera angle that originally was taken, was Tyler Heineke had his arm on Sam Howell's shoulder, and Carson Wentz, you could see him clap, but you couldn't see his face. It was kind of funny, but this one's starting to surface more than the other ones. But yes, I do know what you're talking about. It was kind of funny. It's like, that just kind of sums it up with the season there. Chris's overreaction says, Scott did okay in the last game. Why fire him? I still want him out of here.
Because 9 players on the offense went to the Washington Post at once and said, we don't like his play calling.
Yeah.
It's about a 9 out of 10 chance he's gone.
They said there's like 10 players that said that too, man.
It was 9 anonymous players and Logan Thomas.
Yeah.
Logan Thomas has.
How many players play offense, by the way? Just so everybody know football.
We'll put it this way:
11 right?
guys
so,
on offense.
Like, there's 9 people.
Backups. You're looking at about what 25 or so.
9 people out of 11. No.
10 players out of 25 were like, this guy's got to go.
This ain't working, bro.
Yeah. Aaron says Young still needs to do more. Payne Allen Young should be eating. He's not that guy, but he's still okay. That knee was holding him back. I think next year would be a good telltale sign. He was supposed to come back like 6 weeks ago. Remember?
He's on a rookie contract.
He's never going to do that. If Young gets 15 to 18 sacks, he'll be defensive player of the year, man.
Oh yeah.
Like because he's going to do everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to do everything else. And he's going to even get all the pressures of a guy getting 15 to 20 sacks a year too. But he's just not going to get home because of the defense is not set up that way.
Guspo says Young is a diva. You can't be bringing me just the intangibles, but want the attention of a sack king. I guess that remains to be seen.
Diva or just he acts like a star because he's been a star.
I would love Joey Porter Jr. at 16, man. I would love that pick. I think that's maybe too high for a linebacker considering we need linemen. but yeah, I would love Joey Porter or a crazy offensive player. Like if I know that we're stacked at receiver, but if Marvin Harrison Jr. is there at 16, do you not take him?
Do we need that position?
No, we don't need it. We absolutely don't. But
you trade out of it then.
No, I would take it.
Four first round picks on the
again in a limited amount of time he's been there. By the way, definitely his run defense is higher than his pass rush score, but that was like that last year. So yes, he's not put up the gaudy sack numbers, and then that's primarily what you're looking for from your number 2 pick. But you can't discount the fact that he's one of the things that we probably could use some help on is defending against the run. And you saw Chase do that very well against the Cowboys. That's why the Cowboys run game got completely stuffed.
Yeah. I understand
that just Chase, but he was a part of it.
I mean, we understand the argument about
running averages this game.
Say again.
What was our running numbers this game
for the Cowboys?
Yeah.
They 27 carries for 64 yards, 2.4 average.
So we have 40-something carries.
That's pretty good. Now, that was what the Cowboys had. For the Commanders, 41 carries, 151 yards, averaging 3.7 yards a clip.
Right. It wasn't that great. It was good.
I mean, what brought that down was Reggie Bonifin, Armani Rogers, and Curtis Samuel. That was 5 runs.
Bonifin ran 3 times at the end
of
the clock.
Louisville. You know, he was like the starting quarterback and Lamar Jackson took his job.
Louisville. Really?
Yeah, Bonifin, yeah.
Very
Listen
cool.
to this. I mean, this is right here. This was Dallas's stat line individually. Pollard, 7 carries, 19 yards. Davis, 5 carries, 19 yards. Dak Prescott, 6 carries, 16 yards. Zeke, 8 carries, 10 yards.
Yeah, they got behind by a lot, man. It's hard to run. Their leading
rusher had 19 yards.
Yeah. Marcus says, I believe Chase Young would get more sacks if Greg Williams was the DC.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I mean, Andre Carter ate while he was here.
This comment's funny, though, and I completely agree with Gus's comment. Howell's beard looks a little too manicured, like George Michael-esque. After the game,
him and Fromm
it was perfectly shaped. It was actually nice. And then Chris McDaniel chimes in with,
hold on.
Hal just wants you to have faith.
That's pretty good. Like George Michaels.
He will be your father figure.
Wham! Now
him and Fromm look alike. If you watch Fromm, you can see him in the background. It's just like they look like they could be brothers. They got that same crazy square jaw.
Yeah. Aaron says draft
he throws the ball
Bowers
effortlessly.
I don't know who that is. Brock Bowers.
Yeah, Guspa says Bowers too small, much like Isaiah likely, but Bowers will be over.
Oh, the tight end. I don't want. Somebody else I think said they wanted to draft the tight end number 1. There's no way, man.
Yeah.
Like I think I understand you go for the best player available, man, but there's no way you can justify with this whack ass offensive line picking a tight end that catches balls.
Right.
Like, if you're gonna catch a dude that catches passes, pick a receiver.
Yep,
and keep
I'm
it
with you.
moving. Get rid of Samuels. He's probably going to be way less expensive than Samuels.
Yeah, that's fair. Real quick, before we go to good, bad, ugly, great,
I like Samuels.
I do want to show what we picked for scores. So Corey had we had one person pick Dallas to win, and that was Chris McDaniel with the 19-17 win. Excuse me, pick Washington to win. Everyone else you can see on the screen, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 predictions of a Dallas victory, including all three of us on this show and almost everyone in the chat. So Chris McDaniels, props to you for picking the lone to win. Even Vegas was surprised, but I figured I'd just show that. Props to Chris McDaniels for picking that. No one else was even remotely close.
I want money on FanDuel for Washington winning, by the way.
Did you? Very cool. Well, let's go into good, bad, ugly, great. And Phil, let's start with you.
The good was Sam Howell. Period. The bad, the fact that we didn't get to see. I'm not like some people. It's like, oh, we should have seen Howell throw 40 times. The bad was that the bad was his stats could have been even better if McLaurin doesn't drop that crossover in the middle. And I could tell McLaurin, that ball hit his hands. He was like, oh shit, I haven't had a ball thrown this hard at me in a long time. And then also Jahan could have pulled in a deep ball that was right in his hands too. So the bad was the 2 drops. The ugly was Joey Slye. Just Joey Slye cost us 7 points. 7 points, people.
Yep.
Joey Slye, we could have won this game 33-6
handily,
which would have been the biggest blowout. No, the second biggest blowout in the history of our rivalry with Dallas, I believe.
Sure could have used it.
In a game they actually needed up until some point in the game.
Yep. Funny comment. Yam says, Howell's like that 15, 16-year-old kid that can grow facial hair early. So he does try to pass for older or get a fake ID to buy cigarettes or wrapping papers. Yep, we all knew him.
He does have a bit of that Gen Z broccoli hair thing going on. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah. It looks like he microblades his beard. You know what I'm saying?
Dev has sang the song many times on this pod. Sam Howell will never dance again. I think you've sung that song many times on this pod.
Sam Howell
never gonna dance again.
And then I'll throw.
Guilty feet had no rhythm.
Yeah, Aaron said he bet $100 on Dallas, 7.5. I knew I'd lose. All right, my good. I'm with you, Phil.
My great.
Oh, go ahead.
My great was out that deep ball to Terry McLaurin. Oh man, we saw something similar earlier this year. A couple times, Wentz to McLaurin, but Howell got even further out there. To watch Terry have to full sprint to catch that ball, no hesitation, no nothing. It was just all out bomb. I need this in my life, guys, and I haven't had that with Taylor Heineke. Don't tell me what you would say about him throwing other deep balls. Receivers had to stop,
you need some deep balls in your life. I didn't know what to say, man. I was gonna let that ride.
I need that. I need these deep throws in my life next year. We got to go with Sam Howell. Period. And Aaron's right. That deep ball to Dotson was right in his hands, and it was such a low. I mean, it was right there, right there, and he couldn't get a hold of it.
Yep, Terry had to speed up to catch that ball. He had to click into overdriving and get that ball. He liked it. Okay, I will say real quick. I will say mine. Aaron says good overall team, bad special teams play, ugly Turner calling plays. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. For me, I'm gonna say good Sam Howell, just like you said, Phil. He exceeded my expectations of what I was gonna, that I'll put it that way. The bad, it's really hard to pick something really bad. But I'd say the Jack Del Rio dropping our 2 bookends in the coverage. I know it was just once. It might have been a couple more times. Ugly Joey Slye. Still want him as my kicker. He had a bad day. Great. I'd say the the wide receivers just made me really happy yesterday. And mostly Jahan, because we already know what Terry can do, but Jahan's separation off the line is something you have to watch.
Mm-hmm.
His first step, I'm gonna go out on a Steve limb, and say it's better than Terry's. Maybe remains to be seen, but his first step off the line, there's some film out there on the all 22.
It's up there.
It's beautiful. And I can't tell you the last time we had separation from any receiver on this team. I don't care how, you can go back as far as you want. We ain't never had separation like we have with Terry and Jahan. Years back to the posse, probably. It's been really long.
Mm-hmm.
Gus says, how was Dallas's father figure yesterday? A lot of people saying he's Uncle Sam. He's collecting taxes. So we see a lot of names showing up for Sam Howell. Before we get to Dev, let's go to Yam. Yam says, great was Jahan Doxson. He is him. Good Howell shows there might be something to work with, so we can let both Taylor Heineke and Carson Wentz go. Bad, not enough passing to truly test Howell. So Dev, Yam agrees with you. So does Gus. Bus about.
I mean, if Dallas had put up more of a game, we might have had to throw the ball more.
True.
I mean,
Ugly.
we
This
weren't
team
kicking him
failing
in the
to
ass
show up
much.
and show out the 3 previous game. Yeah, where was this energy at? Where was this energy at? So Marcus is good about Ugly. Great says Sam Howell was good. Bad was Scott Turner. Open up the game plan. Ugly was Joey Slye. Great. Our young players show we have talent. Hudson, Paul, safety, Butler, and Force is something to build on. That's true. That's true. Dev, we go to you. Are we giving out any awards today?
I was trying to find it.
That's okay. Just give your good, bad, ugly, and let me know when you're ready for the awards.
All right. Good. I'm going to give it to obviously it's Sam Howell.
Okay.
Bad.
Talk your shit.
Yeah, bad. Man, I'm gonna give it to Slye. Joey Slye's the bad. Ugly Scott Turner, who also gets my Glock Dookie Award, which I have not fixed the graphic yet, but Scott Turner gets the Glock Dookie Award, man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
listen.
The Glock Dookie Award.
The Lions were in basically the same situation we were, man. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have anything to play for. They still went out there on 4th and 2, was going for it. They wanted to drive the shit down Green Bay, their rival's neck, man. Take this ass whooping. That's what the Lions did to Green Bay. That's what we should have did to Dallas Cowboys. I mean, we did. The end result was the same, but we should have just, like those times we punted the ball on 4th and 1. For what? For what?
For what?
Go for it and stomp them out. Don't even give them a shot, man. That's what we should have did. We should have threw the ball like 40 times on them dudes, man.
So let's make it official. New intro music and all. The Glock Dookie Award. I had to change the music because we were getting copyright strikes. So there's your copyright-free introduction to the Glock Dookie Award. Dev, officially the Glock Dookie Award goes to...
Copyright this, YouTube.
The Glock Dookie Award goes to...
Scott Turner.
Scott Turner. Ladies and gentlemen, there's your Glock Dookie Award for the week 18. Week 18?
So weird to say week 18.
It just doesn't feel right. I feel like
it's funny. I remember the 1 year they did the 2 bye weeks back in like 93 or 94. They had 2 bye weeks. They had 18 weeks. It was the weirdest thing. I remember because somehow we ended up playing Tampa Bay twice.
Yeah.
And they weren't even in our division. This is back in like, yeah, this is like Norv Turner's first year. So it's like 94. It was the weirdest thing ever. It really was.
Aaron says Sam needs to start, man. He gets protection next year. Watch out. He's busy. He's gonna do something. And I would say
Vizio, he's gonna be a TV.
The best thing for a bad offensive line is a mobile quarterback. I mean, so if he's our guy, I would prefer a mobile quarterback personally than a statue.
Yeah, fast, cannon arm, over 6'1".
Aaron also says, "Yep, Doxson is the best wide receiver on the team. His routes are flawless. Has speed, but Terry is that guy, a true dog." Chris says somebody needs to put Sam's face on the Good Sam logo with Photoshop or something. Good Sam logo. Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. Gus Bus says that's Major Tutty's theme. Major Tutty's theme. Okay. Chris says, leave Major Tutty alone. I like that guy. He's fun for the kids, and I want a
Man, make sure
picture
he got a shirt made on the cricket.
of him. All right. Real quick, let's give out some game balls here, and then we'll wrap this thing up. So, Dev, let's go with you. Everyone in the chat, give us your game balls for the game. 1 offense, 1 defense. Go. Go ahead, Dev.
Offense, Howell. Defense, Payne.
You said Payne?
Payne.
So Howell and Payne. Okay, that's fair. What about you, Phil?
Well, since we took Howell, let's say Jarrett Patterson on offense.
It's a good one. That's a good pick. It's solid.
He had he showed that he's got something to contribute to this team. And on defense, you said Payne. I'm going to say I'm buying time while I debate. Let's go. Oh hell! If you said Payne, then I'm going to go with Kendall Fuller.
Boom.
Pick 6, baby.
There you
That was
go.
the weirdest thing. I've never seen that before.
Never ever drop a pick 6, then you get a pick 6 the very next play. How
On the
crazy
same
is that?
pattern,
How
That was-
crazy
it was like-
is that?
carbon
was-
copy. I was like, huh?
Insanity. Insanity.
It
Yeah.
was funny because when he dropped the first one, I'm like, no, man, you can't do that. And then when I see the route like at the top corner of the screen, I can see the receiver. I see Dak looking this way. I'm like, he's gonna throw it again. And then I saw the pick 6. I'm like, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 2 pick 6s
Insane. That's awesome.
this season by
Yeah.
Kendall Fuller. Basically jumping routes, the same thing, jumping the out routes. So
Basically.
we haven't had that in a while. We haven't seen our guys get those easy pick 6s like that off of jumping the out routes.
Yeah.
So shout out to Kendall Fuller, man. You made my day very happy very early.
Nice. My offense, since you said Howell and you said Jared Patterson, I'm gonna go with Jahan Dotson, just because I feel he had like such a good game on offense. So mine goes to Jahan Dotson. On defense, I'm gonna give mine to the defensive back room. These guys, I think they deserve more credit than the defensive linemen. They had Dak flustered all game. 7
True.
pass deflections. So you can't just say they were all because he was under pressure. 7 pass deflections. You see how many times they were able to cut and make a break on a pass and get an arm over without a penalty, not pass interference. And so they did it, and they did it well. I was really impressed with the defensive backs.
I'm gonna throw some numbers at you here. All the pass deflections were defensive backs too. All of them.
I didn't know that. That's
Wow,
awesome.
I didn't either.
Bobby McCain had 1. Kendall Fuller had 2. Danny Johnson had 2. Derek Forrest had 1. And Percy Butler had 1. Percy Butler, by the way,
Very
we
fast.
might be able to get rid of Bobby McCain.
Yeah.
Bobby. I'm not. I used to
Fine.
hate on Bobby, man. Early last year, the end of the year last year, I started being a Bobby fan because I feel like he always at least progresses. Like he gets better.
He doesn't tackle much. That's my problem.
He doesn't
Percy
it's not his
Butler-
job. I'd rather him do
Percy
it.
Butler, though, he plays all over the field. He is just everywhere. I mean, he had 4 tackles yesterday. McCain had 1.
I don't know how I feel about McCain playing corner.
Well,
or playing slot.
Here's Bobby McCain's contract.
backup.
He signed a 2-year deal in the offseason for $10 million. Next year, he has a cap hit of $5.1 million,
Got cut him.
dead cap of $2.8 million. So here's the details for Yam. Zoom in here. If we release him June 1st, dead cap 2.8, dead cap savings 2.3. So you can see the different figures right there. So
I wouldn't say necessarily release him, but I would definitely if you have some competitions at camp, Percy and McCain gotta have some competition.
I don't know if I
Right.
cut him for $2 million though.
it's not that much. It'd be a good depth because a cornerback's going to get hurt. It always happens.
Safety.
Right.
Safety.
Or
Safety.
Yeah,
Either
it's
one, he
safety,
can play
sorry.
both. He
Yeah.
can play both. Yeah.
Marcus says offense, Sam Howell, game ball defense, Kaliki Hudson. He showed he could have more snaps this year.
You
Aaron
should have him all
says
year.
Danny Johnson offense, Paul special teams, Milne.
Amani Rogers should
Finally.
have got more snaps this year too, by the way.
Yeah.
Milne had 2 good returns in one game. Hell froze over.
Then he fumbled.
He got it. Got it
He
back.
had 2.
Got it back. I mean, he got his token returns. He got a 16-yard punt return. So
Yeah, another one that was over 10 yards too.
did he? His long was 16. 7 returns for 55 yards, but
That ain't shit for a black dude. I was fucking with y'all. I like Dax Milne, man.
Yeah.
I mean, ah.
hey, a little long this time, but
It's the end of the season.
thank you so much for joining us as we close out this regular season of 2022. This has been a great year for us. Great year for the Command This podcast and everyone who watches this show. We really appreciate you. Not going to stop with the content. We're going to continue bringing it. We'll probably talk some more playoffs. And then once the football season ends, it's game on. We're going to talk about everything. Off-season podcast becomes, as you see in the bottom right, more than a sports podcast. So strap up.
We got some things cooking. We got some things cooking for sure. We're back here trying to make a couple moves.
Yep.
Money moves.
Money moves. Thank you for
Try.
sticking with us. As always, you can check out the replay of this or on your favorite podcast platform. You can find this podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Odyssey, anywhere you get your favorite audio podcast. So please, the audio podcast is definitely slept on and underwritten. So if you ever miss the live, you can always catch it on the replay. We also do appreciate the YouTube love as well. So get your audio fix, get your visual fix. We appreciate you, everyone who joins in as well. So closing comments, Marcus, I see you guys later. Thank you, family. Thank you, Marcus. And thank you for all you do. Aaron, keep tagging me in the offseason for when you go live for sure. And like I said, one of our favorite things to do is to do our barbershops, which we'll do usually on a Friday or Saturday. We'll get some adult beverages and get our favorite herbal supplements, and we'll get after it. You know what I mean? Like that's what we do. We'll just have some fun, talk about, whatever, anything goes. But thank you for tuning in. I'll give my shout outs. Aaron, Marcus, Chris, Gus Bus, Ref the District, Yam, Ryan Elias from Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. My mom, Linda, thank you for joining. Ma Dukes, Chris McDaniel. Who else popped in here? We had a bunch of other people pop in too. Deuce from Red Zone in the Lab. Thank you very much. Jimmy Lee Patterson popped in for a hot second. Thanks for joining, brother. We appreciate you. And Phil, you got any shout outs?
Ref the District.
Terrence. Can't forget Terrence. Big friend of the show. Eagles fan.
I can shout all y'all out. Shout out to my gym that I'm repping tonight, Steel Mill Gym. It's where I go when I'm trying to get my bench press up, in case I want to become the first ever 40-year-old rookie lineman in the NFL.
Nah, don't happen. You probably gonna beat Cosby out. I
got Brock Lesnar syndrome. I got good calves. My ankles are too tiny to play pro line, man. I don't have those tree trunk legs, so I can't do that. I'm all upper body bulk.
Like
a man could dream. I've done some footwork drills. I'm not too bad.
Got that Mr. Incredible build.
Something like that.
Dev, what you got, man?
Shout out to Manny.
Manny Chakuba. That's right.
Today, man. He has a new podcast. It's pretty cool. I can't think of the name of it. I feel like a bad friend here. But
talking Commanders with Manny.
Commanders with Manny. That's it.
Oh, I thought it was. I can't come out and join y'all in Nashville with Manny.
Right. I'm going to Nashville this Friday, by the way, to go to Buds and More, a restaurant where they infuse food with marijuana. Can't wait to go there with my girl and my cousin and her man. Shout out to them. Latoya, shout out for you. Happy birthday. But that's all my shout outs, I guess, man. Until next season.
By the way, shout out to Kelly. If I'm Mr. Incredible, she's definitely Mrs. Incredible.
There you go.
You mean Elastigirl?
Elastigirl.
Yeah.
Booty looks good and tight.
I just want to be Samuel Jackson.
That's
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
I am thirsty and I need a drink.
Motherfucker.
Chris McDaniel, thank you guys for providing outstanding content and an outlet to communicate with fellow Washington fans. And Chris, thank you, man, for joining. There's a solid core of people who tune into this show, man, and it's pretty awesome. Never thought it would get to the point where we are. So, we're fans just like you. We just put it on the internet.
Nick Blues on 101 and 103.
So, thank you much, Michael Harris. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, brother. All right, we will be back Thursday, probably to talk some playoff football, and who knows what else. Probably we'll see which Washington coaches succumb to Black Monday. It's still 2 hours left. We'll see what happens. Maybe Scott Turner is not an offensive coordinator by Thursday. Yeah, tune in to find out. We love you guys as always, and hail. We out, ya.